I'm sorry for any of you guys who really invested into your KAKIs. Hey guys, what's going on? All right, let's talk. There's something going on that I am pretty question mark. It raises a lot of question marks for me. I know we just had the podcast and we talked about how we felt like this was a pretty good iteration of releasing monsters into the game, but it seems like Com2us doesn't necessarily agree. And to be perfectly honest, I think that maybe I was being a little too generous with how I felt about the introduction of new units. I think we all know that KAKI, the Fire Onimusha, is ridiculous, right? Great base stats, 4-star unit, 115 base speed, incredibly tanky for a unit that doesn't need to build defense. So let's go over the notice that they talked about. So Com2us just dropped this. This is like just fresh. So we're gonna go through the whole thing. Fire Onimusha balancing modification notice. Greetings from Com2us. First of all, we would like to apologize for the confusion that we have caused regarding the new monster Fire Onimusha and its balance in the game. We would like to explain the measurement we will be taking with the Fire apologies. We would like to explain the measurement we will be taking with the Fire Onimusha balance. When designing new monsters, we not only put time and effort into the monster's functional roles, but also into the characteristics and concepts that each monster possesses. Throughout the 7 years of service, there is a variety of unique monsters in Summoner's War, and we believe that designing new monsters in this environment should always be done very carefully. Our team always does our best to introduce new monster updates, but we are truly sorry for the issue that arose during this process. The new monster, Onimusha, was designed with the concept of a monster that doesn't land critical hits, but shows a great synergy when utilized with other strong characteristics. In particular, Fire Onimusha was developed with the intention of making a monster that has both strong attack power and good tanking ability, while having its attack power and defense affecting each other. However, Fire Onimusha's 4-stall skill, which increases the defense and inflicts additional damage proportional to defense, was showing a greater power than the original intention. It's the passive. And how summoners can engrave runes only focusing on attack power rather than considering critical rate or crit damage as well, has increased the skill power even greater since the monster does not generate critical hits. For this reason, we will be modifying the current balance of the Fire Onimusha, who can have both big damage and tanking ability, by maximizing attack power only to limit the impact between attack power and defense to a certain point and adjust additional damage that's inflicted proportional to the defense. The goal is to have the Fire Onimusha available to be used widely even after the balance patch. We are currently adjusting the final balance value, and with the modified version, it will require further consideration of how to rune him and to choose between dealing damage or going for tankiness. We are well aware of the disappointment and confusion that summoners may experience by a monster balancing that takes place right after the update. We should have prepared the update in a more complete form, especially the update that releases new monsters, but we are extremely sorry that we failed to meet the expectation of summoners. We will use this incident as an opportunity to grow further so that such mistakes do not occur again. Our team will do our utmost to provide better service, especially with monster skill design and balance, with more thorough preparation and development. Please note that the Fire Onimusha balance patch will be released via version 6.2.3 update this week. The critical rate modification will not be included in this update, but will be available in the next update. We ask for your generous understanding. We've prepared the following compensation as an apology, so please read below for details. Mystical Scrolls times 10, Crystals times 200. Once again, we deeply apologize for the inconvenience this has caused. Thank you. So, a couple things I want to go over to start with. First of all, I appreciate that they came out and said, hey, we wanted to create something cool. We wanted to create something unique. We wanted it to have this interesting mechanic where it could be tanky and damage and a bruiser. And they admit it. They made a mistake. They created a monster, a literal monster. This unit's strength is insane. It is incomparable to other units. KAKI is so strong in the game right now that new players have been advised to re-roll an account specifically for him because he's just better than like everything else. Like, why would you build a Lapis when you could build a KAKI, especially with the event going on where you can reroll for your scrolls? KAKI's strength is incredible to the point where people have started to consider devilmoning him again. You don't generally devilmon 4 stars. It's a pretty scarce resource, right? People go in and they see this unit and they realize how strong this unit is potential wise, and they all in on him. And then they get burned by stuff like this, right? We see this balancing modification notice not, what, 4 days after they've been out? I'm very much someone who usually wants to give the benefit of the doubt to Com2us, but I think that this is a really bad mistake, and this is a really big QA issue. It reminds me of when the twins got nerfed after their release. For those of you guys who don't know about the twins, when the twins were released, all of the twins attacked together. So if you had 2 chakrams and 2 dancers, all of them attacked together. And it was crazy. It was ridiculous. They had to nerf them. But the problem was they gave people enough time to devilmon these units first, build them, test them out, and then be like, okay, you guys made them way stronger than we ever expected. For those of you who know me well, I generally don't believe in heavy compensation. I don't believe in, like, you know, if you invested in it, you invested in it. But I feel like this is a really, really bad approach to what they're doing. You know, if they had nerfed KAKI a month down the road, sure, you had your month of fun, you invested in it. I get it, right? It was too strong. You knew it was too strong. But the issue that I have is when we look at this, I see a really badly proposed patch that went through and clearly wasn't QA'd well enough on Com2us' side. This might be the only time you ever hear me say this, but I think that they should give out devilmons as compensation, and I also think that they should refund everybody for their KAKIs. If you devilmon your KAKI, you should get the devilmon back. If you fed Onimushas to your KAKI, you should get your Onimushas back as a choice. You can choose to build KAKI again when they decide to change him, and that's up to you. That's your decision. But it feels kind of scummy to create an absolute monster and then just short everyone like that. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? You know, unit has 8,400 base HP, 812 attack, 604 defense, and 115 base speed. It scales on attack, that also gives it defense, and then it scales on additional damage based on defense. Did they not think that there was going to be an issue with that? A speed awaken unit that scales on being a bruiser, that doesn't crit, and automatically heals on skill 1 with a defense break. They overloaded a kit, and then they said, we didn't think it would be a problem. We're sorry. If you're really sorry, do something about it. This is a very, very bad way to approach it. I'm going to go out and say it. This is a really bad take Com2us. Bad take, dude. Don't do this again. Create actual balance. Test your units, please. Right? I wasn't fortunate enough to get a KAKI, but I know lots of people who built him and devilmon him and were performing exceptionally well with him. Now they've lost all their resources. Some of you might say, well, you should have known better. He was going to get nerfed. Well, most people don't think about the nerfs coming within a couple days, maybe a month, maybe the next balance patch, something like that, right? It's very rare for Com2us to have this knee-jerk reaction where they have to immediately rebalance a unit. So I think maybe they should consider having better compensation for that, or some sort of at least a better path so that this never happens again. We thought this would never happen again when it happened to the twins, and here it is a couple years later happening again. Either way, it is what it is. I really hope that some change does come. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, if they should provide more compensation, if you think there should be improvements on their QA side. I'm down to hear it. Whatever you think it is, tell me. I'll be reading through all your guys' comments, responding to the ones that I have something to say to. But I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated. I always try to put Com2us on the best foot going forward when it comes to creating an incredible game and people not giving them a break, but I feel like this was just not good. It's not right.